I'm Lisa Evers, and this is Street Soldiers.
Fox 5 and Hot 97 present Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers.
For too long, women in hip-hop and R&B have had to take a back seat to the men in the music industry. But now they're writing their own rules and changing the game. Three-time Grammy-nominated hip-hop artist Rapsody decided early on to pursue her career on her own terms. Her new album, Eve, is a celebration of diversity.
We can't be constrained to what society thinks we're supposed to look and how we're supposed to talk and how we're supposed to act and just be this one thing. So, you know, it's important to me to represent that and to continue to break down the false narrative and shine truth in what we as black women are.
From Roxanne Shanté's groundbreaking battles to the uplifting messages of Queen Latifah, many women artists, including Lil' Kim, MC Lyte, and Foxy Brown, have left indelible marks. Nicki Minaj can go toe-to-toe with the likes of Jay-Z and Kanye West. But now there's a new momentum, says Rob Markman.
We can't ignore the history. Women have always been here. Women have always been rapping at a higher level. I think now the mainstream is just calling for us to put more of it up in the limelight, and we should be.
Cardi B blasted through female stereotypes to win her multi-platinum Grammy Award status. New artist Megan Thee Stallion is burning up stages with her Hot Girl Summer Tour. She broke it down for me at Hot 97 Summer Jam.
My mom was a rapper, and that's how I even knew about female rappers. And I was like, I want to do this, I could do it. So, yeah, I've always been on the dance team and everything, so I've always performed in front of crowds. I ain't never really been a shy person, and I love writing music.
KSR recording artist Jessie Woo has the #2 most streamed R&B album on iTunes. She says despite social media pressures, she stays true to herself.
I put my best foot forward musically so that my image will be something that's secondary. That's my goal, is that when people hear Moons of a Cancer, they hear my music, they hear whatever features, that when they hear it, they know it's Jessie Woo singing.
Authenticity is a key to success, but there's a lot more to it. Let's find out what our panel has to say. Joining me for this conversation, Jessie Woo. She's a KSR recording artist. She has the #2 streaming R&B EP on iTunes, and her latest project is called Moods of a Cancer. Jessie, great to have you with us.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much. Also with us is Rob Markman. He's a hip-hop journalist, one of the best, I think, ever. And he's also head of artist relations at Genius and a hip-hop artist himself. Rob, great to have you with us.
Thank you for always having me, Lisa.
Thank you so much. Great to have you. Also with us is Rapsody. She's a 3-time Grammy-nominated hip-hop artist, the only female nominated for Best Rap Album in 2018. Her latest album is called Eve. Rapsody, great to have you with us.
I'm happy to be back.
Thank you so much. Good to have you back. Rapsody, in terms of where women are, how do you feel in terms of your journey? Is it getting easier because you're getting more successful, or are people reacting to you in a different way, better way?
I just think people are being more exposed to me every day. I think the biggest thing for artists in general, especially women, is exposure, you know, getting them into the eyes of people. So we kill the false narrative that there's only one type of woman that people want to see. You know, I think people want variety and they want to see different females. So, you know, the fact that, you know, through my journey, whether how hard it has been at times, that, you know, I can come to this point in my career, it makes it easier for the next person. So, you know, with me, I just take every day how I'm giving it and try to be the difference that I want to see and for the next person.
And we're going to talk about caving into stereotypes and also pressures, some of the pressures that women face that men don't really face on this. But Jessie, in terms of your career, do you feel musically that being a woman has helped you or hurt you at this particular point?
I think we're in a time where women are winning, like you said earlier, and, you know, women are sticking together. It used to hurt us because, you know, music is a male-driven, you know, business, but women are speaking up. We're not taking anything anymore, you know, we're not taking anything lying down anymore. So now when you see a woman winning, it's like, all right, I can hold her hand and she can pull me up too. We're pulling each other up. So I think it's a great time to be a woman in music.
A really great time. Yeah. Rob, you work with a lot of artists as well, report on them, write on them, develop projects with them, interview them, everything, know the lyrics inside and out. What do you see happening with women? Is this just a publicity thing that we're seeing now, kind of like a blip because of all the attention that women are getting in general in our society? Or give us a broad view here.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a publicity thing. You know, I think it's a very real thing that's happening when you see what Rapsody is doing, what she did last year at the Grammys with her album Layla's Wisdom, like, that was a very real thing, and indicative of very real things that's happening. And, you know, when you just see the rise of women, you know, not just, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, Melly, Rico Nasty, like, you can go on and on. Snow the Product, who's on the West Coast, who's doing it independently. There's a lot of different variety of women. I do urge the media and hip-hop fans in general not to get so caught up in the moment and do the history. I mean, because there is a lot of attention on women, but respect the ones that came before and laid the foundation as well, like the Queen Latifah. You know, Queen Latifah had a record called Ladies First, and she had a great camaraderie with the Moni Loves of the world and the MC Lights, and women put on for each other. So we're not saying anything new. Like, this is not like an anomaly. Like, women rap.
Have been in it for a long time, but
Yeah.
culturally and in terms of the industry faced a lot of obstacles
Absolutely.
and acceptance.
No, absolutely. And there's no doubt that there's obstacles. And you know, my place as a man in media and a man in hip-hop is to support and sometimes shut up and just listen.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. Rapsody, there's always this kind of, you know, we need you to be a certain way. We want you to look a certain way. That's kind of in all entertainment, you know, industries. It's very common, whether it's acting, whether it's broadcasting, whatever it is. You know, we want you to look a certain way because that's kind of what the industry is expecting, or fit a certain mold. Did you come up against any of that in your career? Because you've stayed very, very true to your vision, to your voice, to your writing, to what you want to communicate.
Yeah, I mean, it was something I had to go up against. You know, it's crazy because, you know, looking up when I was younger, we had that variety. You know, we had Queen Latifah, had MC Light, had Missy Elliott, Lauren. They were all different. And somewhere along the lines, I would say, Rob could back me up, maybe around the late 90s, early 2000s, women in hip-hop's image changed to be video vixens, you know, and that felt like that was the only thing that we could be, and that was our place in hip-hop on a mainstream level if we're talking about TV and radio. So, you know, me coming up and have to figure out how do I fit into this space and create another lane that was reminiscent of what I grew up in, you know, it came with struggles, you know. That was like, it was like the cookie cutter, this is how you get on mold, and I see the conversations, you know, and we come up in a time where a lot of listeners or people that consume music see artists before they hear them.
Oh,
And it's
that's
all
a great
about,
point.
you know, what you look like, who you're dating, what's your aesthetic as far as how you dress. Do I see myself dressing like you? Do I want to be you? And less about the talent. And it's a time where talent is 10%, everything else is 90% outside of the music. So to be a pure artist that's about the art, you know, it comes with some struggles and some fight, but one thing I know, though, is that outlasts anything. You know, everything else is superficial, and, you know, our looks change every day, but our art, the gift that we're given from God, doesn't change, and nobody can deny true talent. So it's just about understanding, you know, in the words of so many, but, you know, most recently Nipsey Hussle, that it's a marathon and not a sprint.
Right.
And you stick to your guns, and though they may not let you in to sit at a table, that doesn't have to be your path. Your path doesn't have to be what everybody else's path is. You can create your own way through. So knowing that you have options, that you are the captain of your own ship, you know, that's how I kind of always looked at it. But it's definitely a obstacle. You know, I just had to stick to my guns and believed in what I believed in, and that was my art.
And you've done that, and you continue to do it, and look at the, you know, the recognition that's coming your way now too,
Yeah.
which is really good. No, it's fantastic. Jessie, in terms of yourself, you know, there was also a thing too for a while in hip hop. It's either, you know, you like Rob was saying, that there's the video vixen, but you couldn't really be taken seriously as a lyricist, as a singer, as a performer, as an artist. What do you think about that? Like how it's changed now? Because now it's like ladies are like, well, listen, I'm going to be what I want to be. I'm going to look the way I want to look. And it's a different kind of game because of social media. Like Rapsody said, it's like they see you before they actually hear you. How has that played a role in your popularity and also your career?
I remember when I've been singing my entire life. Like, I grew up in church singing. But when it was time to pursue music, that's when I would hear certain things like, you know, you don't have the look. Or, you know, I've been told I was ugly before. Like, I've been told I was too dark. I was, you know, and it would be told to me by, like, black men. Like, you know, and here I am, a black woman. I'm like, I look like your mom. Like, I look like the woman who birthed you. And you're telling me I am not appealing enough to exercise the talent that God gave me. So that was a struggle of mine. But then I remember just going to college and just, I feel like around college a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? I am pretty. Like, I am a beautiful girl. Like, I'm chocolate. I'm beautiful. I don't have traditional features.
I don't know how I'm looking at you. I don't know how anybody could say that.
But you know, and I have big cheeks. I have, you know, I'm Haitian. Haitians are known for our big cheeks. We're known for our chocolate skin. We're known for our features. So, you know, I've accepted that. But then now, as Rapsody was saying, now you have the social media, the age of social media, where people see you before they hear you. And on my EP, I wanted people to hear me sing. Image to me is not always the most important thing to me, because I know, just like how she said, image will fade away. Now you have all these girls who are going to get all these surgeries, and they don't even look like themselves anymore because they want to portray a certain image. I ain't got time for that. You're going to hear my talent. Now, whether you find me cute or not, that's your business.
Right.
But you can't.
But you
deny,
are going to respect my
you're
talent.
Gonna respect my
and you're
talent.
going to respect my music. All right, we need to take a short break. Coming up, how the women are writing the rules. That's coming up next.
You understand that your purpose is way bigger than just the entertainment part of it, and that's what fuels me.
Let's talk about the image versus the music, because Rob Markman, there are people that said Aretha Franklin would never, may she rest in peace, would never have had a chance as an artist today because of the way she looks. True or false?
I mean, true, they probably said that in the beginning, but who are they and where are they at?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even, like, your
Who are
opinion
the
doesn't
haters?
matter. Like, at the end of the day, this is music. You know what I'm saying? It's the music business. The music comes first. And if the music doesn't come first, then what are we doing? You know, Rap made a point earlier about the images that are portrayed through the mainstream. And I just want us to remember, as a culture, specifically in hip-hop, this existed before TV was covering us. This, you know, I came up in New York at a time when hip-hop wouldn't even get played on the radio.
Right.
You know, when Hot 97 was a dance station, you might get an hour on Kiss, you know.
And that FM
night.
station from Fordham, right.
Right. So, you know, the mainstream TV, radio, and I'm a media guy, does not dictate what's cool in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And we have to start respecting women and their contributions further than the way they look. Most rap fans, you love Drake versus Meek Mill, right? That battle, right? And we love the battle in hip-hop. Roxanne Shante revolutionized the battle in hip-hop with the Roxanne Wars, with, you know, the way that battles were done on wax. Like, this is a woman's contribution.
Right.
And it never mattered how, you know, anybody look. You know, Queen Latifah is beautiful, but it wasn't her looks that got her across. It was that pen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And her message. She had a very powerful message at a time when a lot of things were happening in the streets and in our communities.
So, you know, I just don't want us to forget that and give so much power to the mainstream. I thought it was very disheartening. And I have a lot of respect for Jermaine Dupri for what he's built in hip-hop and basically making Atlanta the scene that it is. But for him to kind of allude to that women only rap about sex, and him wanting to see more women rap more than just about sex or their bodies or whatever, you know, I would implore him to do the research. Like
guys don't rap about sex? I mean, come on,
I
please.
mean, all they rap about is sex and drugs and killing people. Like, come on.
But it's more out there too. It's like here you are, you got this big platform. Like, be the change you want to see. Rap says, I'm being the change. Rap doesn't want to be the vixen.
But
like,
it's also, but Rapsody,
up.
it's also, and I'm sure you have points like this in your career. And we talked about them with the youth panel. Shout out to Jeter Turn 2 Foundation, to Charlie and everybody for doing such, and Derek doing such a great job for the youth, for really empowering them, giving them these skills. But one of the things was about not selling out, not selling yourself short for that immediate check, or you're like going, oh man, how am I paying the rent this month, or how am I, keeping the phone on this month, or whatever. And then there's that offer, if you do this, but you're like, that's not really who I am. Did you have moments like that coming up? Where people were just like, if you do this, we can write you a big check.
Yeah, you have moments, people outside of my circle, whether they went to me or whether they went to Ninth, wonder who I'm signed to, with ideas of how to speed up my ascension in hip-hop. And, we had to always tell ourselves what we do is authentic. It has to be branded with what I believe in and what, is Rapsody. Otherwise, I can't do it. I can't wake up every day and try to live a life that's not me and to be anyone other than me, because that takes too much energy, and nobody can keep up a false narrative in that way of who they are. So, you know, everything I've done and everyone that I respect and everyone that I know that is around 20 years and has careers are themselves.
Right.
And they make art for them. So I think one, as artists, you have to first figure out, what do you want out of this game?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a legendary artist? Do you want to be 20 years? Do you want to live our brand? That's a whole different route. If you want to just get in it and make money and do
be
what you do for
Instagram
this big
sensation.
yeah, there's a lane for that too. But understand that it's going to be a short one. So have a game plan too for what you want to do next after that.
This is Street Soldiers. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. We'll be right back. Jessie, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I kind of like where Nikki's at right now, and I'm gonna tell you why. Is because for 10 years she ran, like, she was the head of, you know, female rap. There were other female rappers doing their thing,
Right, but she was on
we
the
can't
throne
deny
way up
that
there,
she
right.
was up here because she bridged the gap between hip hop and pop.
Right.
You know, and she had, you know, she, you know. But now she's at a point where, you know what, I want to tell y'all about all the things that happened to me along the way. Because for so long, she didn't say anything.
Right.
She would just kind of let everything happen. Women, we have to sit back and watch people drag us, because we can't do what the men do. Now she's like, no, not only am I going to do what the men do, I'm going to have Queen Radio. I'm going to have the men come on here, and I'm going to put them on the spot. I'm going to pull out receipts. And it's like that. I live for that. I
You like
live
that
for
part?
that, because now other girls who are coming up, they know I gotta go up against all this stuff. If you pay attention to it and you put the drama aside and you really listen to what she's doing, she's telling us, this is what I had to
This
go
is what
through.
comes with the
Exactly.
territory.
Pay attention, because this is what these men are gonna do
This
to
is what,
you.
This is what comes with
Exactly,
comes
and I
with
love
the territory.
that.
Rhapsody, in terms of yourself, the inspiration. Where do you get the inspiration to write what you write?
Just people and inspiring people. That's always what I want to do, tell stories. I think when you're given a gift, and especially a platform to do that, I think about the responsibility that comes along with it. I love the creativity of it, but I also know who's on the other end and the receiving end of that. And, you know, when you go tour across the nation and across the world and you meet these people and you hear their stories of how your music impacted a divorce they have, or you inspired a little girl to find beauty in herself outside of, you know, what commercially we're told is beautiful.
Right.
You know, you understand that your purpose is way bigger than just the entertainment part of it, and that's what fuels me. And, you know, to be a voice to the voiceless, you know, that's always what hip-hop was. Hip-hop was, you know, what you do on that microphone. You report what's happening in the community. So, you know, for those that can't be the voice, we have to be the voice for them, as well as entertain. You know, it's not all or nothing. You know, I like to go out and have fun and make my butt clap on a Friday, Saturday, or whatever. But I also like to go back.
I didn't see that on your Instagram. I just saw the album
I might
cover
not
E.
clap it, but I shake it a little bit. But, you know,
Did you clean that out? I don't know. You said butt clap. I was like, oh.
I might do it on
I'm
a Sunday,
practicing.
right?
Oh, sis.
I'm practicing.
I'm with
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
All right, all
But
right.
you know, there's balance in that, because you know,
Exactly.
every other day, you know, you you want to have, you know, music for what's going on,
Right.
how you
should-
feeling.
Listen,
you know,
you're a
but it's
human
just
being.
all
You know, the end of and
That's all I'm saying.
After a hard week of work, you want to party and get down. That's what it is. I want to thank all of you for being with us for this episode of Street Soldiers. Jessie Woo, KSR recording artist. Her latest project is Moods of a Cancer. It's on iTunes. Thank you so much for being with us everywhere and everywhere. We appreciate that. Rob Markman, thank you so much for being with us.
Always.
As always, a pleasure. We really appreciate it. And Rapsody, thank you so much for coming back to us and talking with us. Good luck with the third album here with Eve. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be checking it out. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. Remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. Let's push for peace.